Hi, welcome to Leading People and Teams. My name is Dr. Neil Paulson. I'm the course coordinator for this business school corporate education course. For quite some time now, I've been interested in the dynamics of groups and how they become effective, and in particular I'm interested in the role of leadership in making groups and teams effective. In this particular course we focus on a number of key issues that help us understand that, including the role of individual differences, and then move on to a discussion around group dynamics and how leadership and leadership style has an impact on group dynamics. And then finally we take a look at some of the issues around relationship building, trust building, and how that influences the way we work in boundary spanning relationships, but across the boundaries of groups, across the boundaries of organisations, the role of leadership not just within the group but also at the edge and outside the group. So the first set of issues we pick up on in this course are the role of individual differences in groups and teams. Clearly every group is made up of a set of individuals who differ on a range of different dimensions, and so one of the challenges as a leader is to really have some way of understanding the way in which the individual people in the group and team function, because that clearly has an impact longer term on the way in which the group interacts and some of the dynamics that emerge in that context. And then secondly, we come in and focus in on what is the relationship in the interaction between leadership style and that group and team dynamic, and what are the factors that might make that kind of milieu of interaction effective to achieve high levels of performance. There's a lot of stuff around in leadership literature that helps us understand something of our own personal leadership style, but we need to go one step further, and we do that in this course by looking at the way in which leadership style interacts with the group and team dynamic. It seems to me that leadership is emergent in the relationship between what the leader is doing and how a leader approaches the group and team and the dynamics within that group and team. What the challenge here is to make that group and team effective, and so we explore this relationship in a dynamic interchange between leader and group and team in order to enhance its effectiveness, perhaps leading on to high performance.
Neil's been talking about the dynamics of leadership. What I'd like to do briefly is just highlight one aspect of that as it applies to mature teamwork. One of the interesting things that I've found that teams actually do rather well is that they focus upon their inputs and their processes. You could argue that they're quite efficient in what they do in garnishing and collecting resources and then processing that through good systems and procedures. So they're managerially efficient. But what makes the difference between an ordinary, a mediocre team and a high-performing team, apart from high degrees of cohesion, is the fact that they're very clear on outcomes and very clear on deliverables or outputs. The purpose for which they exist is very clear. So they have what you might call a strategic intent that drives their agenda, and then they can pay attention. So you need intention first, and then you can pay attention.
The third area that we focus in on leading people and teams is the area of relationship building and trust building, and the importance of understanding our role at the edge of a group or team. Clearly, a lot of stuff around leadership and group and team dynamic is focused within the group and team, but increasingly leaders are managing at the edge and managing the context and being required to interact across the organisation, across the boundaries between their own group or team and other groups or teams, and in some cases between organisations in terms of managing alliances and strategic partnerships and so on. So what we do is focus in on the importance of relationship management, trust building both within the team but also between groups and across organisations. So my agenda in this course is to get participants to really think differently about what they're doing in relation to leadership and team development. I want people to be challenged, to be inspired, to believe that somehow it's possible to make a difference in the groups and teams that they're leading. I'm always inspired by interacting with people who've got leadership and team experience and are prepared to think differently about what they do, to improve what they're doing and to achieve higher levels of performance in the teams that they manage.